All right, so
Right.
today we are joined by emerging LGBTQ plus artist and record label founder Parker Matthews. How are you
Hey
doing
guys,
today?
doing well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So Parker, tell me, can you begin by telling us more about who you are as a musical artist and your aesthetic?
Yes, so I'm in pop, musically, aesthetically speaking. I was very made fun of as a kid, so being able to create that kind of safe space for my listeners is super important to me. And being an advocate for our community and being a voice for younger generations is what I really try to focus on every single day.
Okay, awesome. So you've always had this passion and desire to pursue music?
Yes, since I was a very little kid, like 5 years old, I was like, Mom, I want to do that, watching the Grammys. And she was like, that's cute. Then I was like, as I grew up, I was like, vocal lessons and violin and piano and really learning to find my voice through it all.
hmm It wasn't, didn't I read something that you initially wanted to pursue a business career?
I didn't want to, my parents wanted me to.
Your parents wanted you to. So you wanted music,
Yes,
but your parents wanted you to do something
yes.
else.
Yeah, they said no. And I don't know why I listened to them, but I did at first. So I went to school for business and got a job out of college, but I was so miserable.
Mhm.
And I was actually a trip to Europe in 2015 to visit friends in Amsterdam. I was sitting on the edge of the canal after one night of drinking and craziness. And I was like, I don't want to be 80 years old one day and think, what if I would have tried? Because
Mhm.
music saved my life growing up. And I was like, no, I have to do this. So I went home, booked a one-way ticket, moved to LA, and my parents were not happy at first. But after I worked really, really hard, they started to actually believe me, like, you know what? I see this now. So like,
Yeah.
go for it, kid.
Awesome. Very nice. And it seems like music like saves a lot of people in so many ways. Why do you think music is such a universal language?
Well, because even though the lyrics might not be in the language, your native language, the
Mhm.
music still makes you feel something, the chord progression and how that transpires through song gives you a feeling. And that's the really cool thing about music too, is that even though your story is different than mine per se,
Mhm.
we all understand human emotion, like happiness, sadness, love.
Mhm.
So what I've learned over the years is that because that story is different, you hearing my story through a lyrical and chord progression standpoint reminds you of something in your life. And that's the connection and the bond that's created. That's
Mhm.
the really powerful thing.
Awesome. Fantastic. And although you've been releasing singles and doing music for a number of years, your first major breakthrough came with your single Layover, which went viral on TikTok. How did it feel to know that it was receiving such a positive response? What were you feeling?
It was incredible. And it's such a moment because when you sit in the studio, I wrote that song with Maya, Maria, and Michael Blum in June of 2022. And I was sitting on the couch and telling them the story. And I had just met these two that day.
Mhm.
I was sitting there like holding back tears. And I was like, oh, this is what happened. But I mean, we wrote the record. And you don't know in that moment that it was going to have that kind of reaction of other people. And so but being your most authentic self is the most important thing.
Mhm.
And then to see people be like, I went through the same thing and something similar, and thank you for writing that helped me through X, Y, and Z. It's such an incredible feeling. I'm so happy to be able to help in that way.
For sure. And what do you always hope audiences take away from your music? You kind of touched on it, but what more?
Yeah, no, I just in general, whether it's a happy or sad song, I want you to leave feeling better than you did when you first started your day or listening
Mhm.
to it or whatever it might be. But is walking away with a positive feeling or at least feeling seen
Just feeling
in
seen.
your story. Mhm.
Sure. Nice. Now, you released your debut EP, No Regular Love, in 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for those who have
Yeah, I had
not,
to work on that all through COVID. That was a fun time.
so that's like a big COVID project.
Yeah, well, actually, we had just started the recording process in February of 2020. And it was like a
Okay.
month before the shutdowns happened. And then the shutdowns happened and it like made it a 2-year project because it was so difficult to get people, understandably.
hmm Definitely. Well, for those who have not yet listened to it, what makes the EP worth checking out? And is there an overall story to it?
Yes. So it's about a couple different people, but this is from my life in Pittsburgh, which is where I'm from.
hmm
Um, Not the whole story, but it was just a couple people that I really that made an impact on me. One of them in particular, who was the title track, his name was Bruce, but I knew I was moving to LA and I met him about 3 months before. I left and I was like, look, I really like you, but like, I'm not gonna stay for you. I
Hmm.
can't. And I still look back on that to this day, and it's like I talk to him every once in a while, and he's with someone, and I'm super happy for him. But I can't give up on my dreams for you.
Yeah.
So that was truly, I was like, why is this my life? It's like this is here and that's there, but it was truly no regular love. It was something very special, and I had to walk away from that because I
Hmm.
had some other things to do.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, what are you working on right now? Do you have any other upcoming EP
Yes. Oh
album?
yeah. I have so much coming out this year. I had a writing camp with my team, and we wrote 9 songs in 2 days
Oh,
in
wow.
December. Yeah. So More Than Friends is the first one, and we have a bunch more. There's some fasts, and there's a couple of ballads that I'm super super excited for. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, I'm pumped. There's gonna be about a song a month coming
Okay.
out. I'm actually one of the records is being signed with the label in Sweden. We're in negotiations right now, so my company's working with them, teaming up.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Very nice.
very
And what's
exciting.
the new single that came out today?
More Than Friends.
What I'm friend?
So that story actually is also about a guy from Pittsburgh, and it really touches on the fact of like falling for a straight best friend.
Okay.
And I used to work with him at this restaurant. His name was Vinny. I'll say that, but beautiful Italian man. But he was a bartender, and we would hang out, and it was these one-on-one experiences, but almost like it was a date, but nothing ever happened more than just like being together kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was those moments where I was like, yeah, I don't know if like maybe you haven't thought through who you are at your core or whatever, but I feel like there's something more here. But I was so afraid to make a move because if I was wrong, that could ruin things
Hmm.
forever.
Yeah.
So the song talks about that story, and it's kind of this pleading, anthemic mood of like, but why can't we be more than friends? Like if you just try, like maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also seems to be like a universal theme, falling in love with a straight best friend.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
That
Yeah.
sucks. It really
But it
sucks.
happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, how would you say you're constantly evolving as a musical artist?
I think the biggest thing for me from where I began when I moved here to now, as far as an artist in general, but just from a songwriting standpoint, especially, is I used to kind of keep things more cookie cutter in the sense of like, this is the angle I'm going to say this story at, and if that makes sense. But I've learned to really just tell the story for what it is, and I found that that's the most relatable. And for me as an artist and a person, it's just living my life. And I took some time off dating for about a year and a half because it has not been easy out here, I will tell you. But yeah, I could write like 10 full-length albums of the trauma I've dealt with here. But
Mhm.
I actually went out the other night with someone that was great and took a step back into that pool of water. So I'm trying to live my life so I can have more things to talk about, and really as an artist evolving just to kind of build my platform further to be a beacon or have that voice for younger people,
Yeah.
just like music did for me when I was growing up.
Hmm. Yeah. You want to be that positive light and you want to inspire the next generation.
Yes.
Definitely. Well, who are some of your biggest musical influences?
So Christina Aguilera and I actually went to the same high school
Oh,
back
nice.
in Wexford, Pennsylvania. Yeah, so I've always had such a love for her. And I know she's been through kind of ups and downs in her career as far as image. But Stripped was an incredible album. I think every single song on that album had such an impactful meaning to me. And my realizing, I mean, because I knew I was gay since I didn't know what gay was or straight or lesbian, but when
Mhm.
I was very little, I knew that I thought like Aladdin was attractive or Tarzan in the cartoons. Like I was like, I don't care about Jasmine. I just want to like be here so I can be with him. But but growing up in a very religious household, my parents are now divorced. They have been for since I was 12, but um, it was always like maybe this is just a phase, and maybe this is whatever. But anyway, that album really helped me realize like no, like it's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with you, and it's like be yourself and
Mhm.
be strong, be that fighter. So Christina is a great influence. Lady Gaga, of course. I love Stephanie, Adele, Jennifer Hudson. But the overall theme is I grew up listening to women and these powerhouse singers because their tone that like makes you feel something, you know. So they're my biggest influence, I would say.
Awesome. And who are some artists you are currently listening to that we should check out?
So definitely all of them. Jordy is a great one. He lives out here too. He's a like Niecy Nash said on the Glad Awards, he's a card carrying member. He's great. I do have a soft spot for female rappers too, like Cardi, Megan, Nicki. They're all fun, but the big ones are who make the most impact. But I was actually at this event last night, and there's a lot of great artists there that I was talking with. So it's been nice to meet some other peers as well.
Yeah, definitely make those connections. Definitely.
Mhm.
Now, you also started your own record label, PM3 Entertainment. What can
Yes.
you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I wrote work with two songwriters primarily and me, so the three of us write the records for the most part. Krista Youngs and then Maya Marie that I talked about earlier. We were talking last year, and it was just about master points. So I don't know if you know, but like a record there's 200%. There's 100% of publishing and 100% of mastering equal the rights for a song.
Okay.
And master points, or percentages rather, are where the real money comes in as far as revenue.
Hmm.
And most labels don't give songwriters any master points at all, even though a lot of the times for some artists that don't even co-write, these songwriters are writing the whole song. And to me, that's so selfish and so terrible to just be like, thanks, here's like your $1,000 fee, bye.
Yeah.
And just get some publishing, which doesn't really recoup that much money. So after having this conversation, I was like, you know what? You guys should like, because they're like my family and they're more than just friends.
Mhm.
So I was like, I wonder if I could start my own label, sign myself to protect A, me legally, but B, to make sure that they get the credit where credit's due and that they're taken care of.
Yeah, definitely.
So I talked with an attorney and we set the whole thing up, and that's kind of how that was born. And I'm actually moving. So I live in West LA right now, but I'm moving to West Hollywood on April 10th. I got a townhouse and I'm going to put an actual studio in there.
Okay.
So PM3 Studio is going to be expanding, and we're going to have writing sessions there. And I just kind of want to make it a really fun, homey vibe that we can create some great stuff at and have other people, other artists come into and collab and work. And I'm super excited for that.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, what are some other future goals you hope to accomplish with your career and platform?
I think, like I said earlier, being that voice. I mean, tomorrow, or excuse me, Saturday. I know that is tomorrow. I don't know what day it is. Tomorrow, the Human Rights Campaign is having their annual gala, and I'll be on the carpet for that. And to me, that's just, I'm so humbled to be able to be in that moment and to be among other people that have been a part of this community and realizing that, we are resilient and with strength in numbers and we're not going anywhere. But to be there and have that organization that also helped me realize that it was okay to be me and to find the courage to come out, to now be on the carpet, to have other people that are at home watching look up to me, and it's like, and to everyone else on that carpet is incredible. Suicide awareness is something that's really important to me as well, and being able to fully create a platform to bring awareness to that and to help with that is also super important to me. Mental health in general, and being able to just bring music and those things together to have a step in the right direction forward.
All right, perfect. Well, Parker, how can one stay up to date with you?
I'm on pretty much every social media platform except OnlyFans as of now. No.
I mean, okay.
I was like, maybe one day, but like the
Today.
music comes first, okay? Yeah. But no, I'm on all streaming platforms, and Instagram is probably the best way to keep up with me. I have a broadcast channel there, like Team Broken Hearts, because we've all been through the ringer and I get it. But it's really like the Regina George moment. It's like, who here has been personally affected by a man? Like, raise your hand. It's like, yeah, but so all those platforms, and I really love to connect with people and hear their stories, and that brings such joy to me. And hearing how they relate to the music and things they're working on in their life, and really building that relationship with all of my fans, because that's at the very ground. That's the most important thing.
Sure, definitely. Awesome. All right, Parker. Well, before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
Yeah, so we have the 10 new records coming out this year. I am putting a show together, actually. Was just talking with a guy named Jan Richards, who was on tour with One Direction for over 10 years, and he's going to musical direct a show. We're putting it together over the next couple months. So I'll be coming to you live at some point soon. I cannot wait. I'm super excited.
So follow you on social media and stay up to date and stay
Yes,
tuned.
yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
Awesome.